I'm searching. Are we lost? Are we found? Amazing grace, I was once lost and now I'm found. Welcome to Center of Light. Tonight is Center of Light Dream. Bad dream. Could be. Nightmare. Definitely don't want to be. Lost. Hello everyone, let's see what's happening. Let me do some refreshing so I can see everyone without looking at multiple screens and multiple personalities. All right, got everything going. The engine is turning. All aboard! Woo! Woo! Tonight is Center of Light Lost. I was looking for a topic today and I had a few. The most appropriate was lost. Not implying that anyone other than me is lost. Hello, Lewis, my broham sandwich. For anyone who feels lost in a world turned inside, literally, inside out, as it should be. It's called spiritual expansion. Reality is inward. This is the reflection. I would like to show you what spiritual expansion looks like. This is taking place in my hometown right now, Houma, Louisiana. I don't want your sympathy, I want your prayers. But I'm asking, please do not pray from a space of fear. Well, how do you find out what that is? You will know as soon as you close your eyes. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But rather, oh my God, kind of thing. Analogous as this may seem, this is what spiritual expansion looks like.
Close, so we're gonna need to take shelter. Oh, that roof is coming. Holy shit. Yeah, that's it. That's a problem right there, folks. That's not.
That is literally about 3 miles from my father's house. My father's safe. Thank you for those who are inquiring. The family's safe. They're on higher ground. In this scenario, depending on how far in South Louisiana you go, which is literally 12 miles from where my dad lives, and to the Gulf of Mexico, further south you go, the water just encroaches on the land and eats everything. They're on higher ground. Hello, Shan Plunk, beautiful lady. I miss you like crazy. The wind is dangerous if you live around a lot of trees, so forth. You get the idea. That's what spiritual expansion looks like, what I just showed you. Because if we live in the same box, nothing happens. The 5 elements: air, fire, earth, space, water. Hello, Abigail. And the world is becoming, has been, is now, but it is balancing itself. It's rectifying the situation. When fires happen in certain states or wherever in the world, there's a large imbalance of the fire element in that location. When it comes to hurricanes, water is always emotion. Wind is always the air aspect. These are all coming out of balance. So spiritual balance is about superstorms, super fires, because you are turning in at least to a superhuman being. Superhuman. Some people feel lost. Sadly / beautifully, they are lost. Because if you are lost, that means your opportunity to be, quote, found in a very profound way is around you in every possible way. You may not see that. That's my job, my task, my intention. As I mentioned all these wonderful, powerful things to you in tonight's presentation, it's about your liberation. Hello, Malambet. Please send prayers to anyone who is affected by this surge. Are you lost? Are you wandering around in the wilderness? And even at your own house, do you feel like you are in a dream in your own house? That all this stuff is taking place on the outside of you? This presentation applies to you in any sort. Let's look at some notes. First, let's get down to some business. Thank you, Robert Harrison, for all the gifts you have given Center of Light. It helps me to continue to do what I do. Robert donated these rings, these eagle rings, very well made, very heavy, and they're sizable. $35. Donation to Center of Light. Keith, I'm interested in the ring. Let me know. Mayan calendar pendant. Very well made, very heavy. $30. Angelic seals pendant. Gabriel, Raphael, Michael. $30. Keith, I'm interested in one of those pendants. I have astronomical rings, silver and gold. And when you open it up, it looks like this. Pretty cool. Of course, the astronomical ring is the one in white, and the angelic seals pendant is the other one, which is the black geometric pattern. Keith, I'm interested in whatever gift I shown to you, and I will be more than happy to get it on this way. It's a loving offering, a love offering to me for Center of Light, as Robert has love offered to Center of Light, basically to you. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Let me look at my notes before we jump into, thank you, Shan. Let me jump into my notes. I see people on Center of Light YouTube. Hello, Dana. Hello, Kelly Curtis. Blessings. Let me look at my notes so I can just get all these adverts, my monologue out of the way. I'm going to read you a couple of things I wrote last night when I was reviewing some work. I vesseled these little snippets, if you will. Because being your true self, however you know that to be, when you are your true self, however you know that to be, that is true devotion. It's not about all this. All this is beautiful, but when you are your all self, that's true devotion. To reach for God is to reach for something that is everywhere, including yourself. Such reaching is a futile exercise that doesn't go anywhere, because one is not that which is here now. In other words, reaching for something and implies a future timeline versus being present. So it's more of a seeing, a realization, and an integration of the highest truth of the Spirit. Tonight is Center of Light Lost. You don't have to know where you are. You just have to know who you are. And in doing so, you will know your every next move. Where is it you think you are going? Someone sent me a question in my Facebook inbox a little while ago, and they asked, there must be something going on. I have major vibrations and I'm starting to have hallucinations or something, because things don't seem normal. What I want to offer to any of you, if this is taking place with you, is you have to ground yourself. Whether they are hallucinations, ground yourself so you can move into balance. And then maybe those said hallucinations will not be are not hallucinations at all. Either way, grounding yourself, whoever you are, will make everything come into a state of focus, a state of balance, and you won't feel so lost. See? You won't feel so lost. Tonight is Center of Light Dream, Bad Dream. Jimmy T asked the question, do you have the light of Aaron? I don't know what that is. As broad as I am in many different spiritual fields, Aaron? Let me know, sir. Break it down for me, please. Lost. Are you lost in a big way to where you can't find yourself? Are you simply lost in a very small conundrum? Are you lost in how to do a certain thing when you've been trying for so long? Any of these do apply. Another word that is very applicable to tonight's presentation is blind. Are you blind? And it's not a slam, simply are you blind? Is there something you cannot see? Hello, Mary Emelung. Something you are not seeing. If there's something you are not seeing and you are blind, I would assume my advice is to start being. Something I'm not seeing, so I'm lost. I have no direction. I can't see where I'm at. Because you're not being it right here and right now. Well, how can I be it if I can't see it to start the process of learning and understanding? I understand that. That is one way, but the shortcut icon on your desktop, you click it. Your job is not to know how. Your job is to want it regardless of how it shows up. Be willing to drink everything like water. You have to be open-minded to new possibilities. No matter if they go against everything you think and believe is true and or right. You have to be open-hearted so that the very light that I'm speaking about can dwell and sit in the seat of your consciousness. Your consciousness is not in your head. Your consciousness sits right here. But the connection from here to here is very dear to all of us. But we must adhere to these principles to allow the heart and the mind to connect. They are connected already. We just have to become aware of said connection. You may be asking yourself in all of this external folly that's happening, all of these things, you may ask the question, where am I? That is probably the most amazing question one can ask themselves, at least during this presentation, to gain and glean the most of all the chicken nuggets. Hello, Leanne. Where am I? I don't know. Where are you? And I suggest that you leave it open-ended. Don't answer the question. Just simply, where am I? And if you're not here, then you are at a somewhere. So your task now is to not go to that somewhere and find yourself. Your task is to bring the wherever it's at to your present self. Call your soul back to you. Bruh. Nightmare or a dream, where are you? Right now, with all that's going on outside, don't kid yourself. It's going on inside. There is no other way. This is the way, is to go back from this to the source where everything is an offshoot, an offspring from the wellspring. But are you feeling well or are you feeling off? Get on that train that I'm speaking about and things will simply right themselves for you. Spiritual expansion looks like holy terror, but you have to stay in the game. All the same, it's truly up to you. The world is going to get very, very loud. How can it get any louder, Keith? Go to an AC/DC rock concert and see how loud decibels can be. Metaphorical decibels. And the video I showed you a little earlier of what's happening near my father's house, that is a metaphorical truth of how things are going to exponentiate. But instead of, while things get greater in this capacity, terror, nightmare, center of light, dream tonight, I'm lost. Understand another aspect of you, the truer aspect of you, rises with terror. There is no error in the universe. And in this era that we are in, this is how you win the game. This is how you save yourself from the hurricane Ida. Ida way. It's up to you. Do you want to remain lost? Or do you want to accept, allow, and appreciate your amazing grace? How sweet that sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. You see what I'm saying? There is no more time. Keith, you keep saying that, and every time I say it, the no more time hastens its arrival. Are you arriving to your expansion? Hurricanes do not need to happen for you to rebuild. Fire all across the world does not have to happen for you to fall into the divine fire to create. Water does not have to rise for you and me and the we of it all to rise to the occasion. There is no more time. Do not be late for this party. Hello, Heather. Hello, Trisha. I love acknowledging and announcing people. Hello, everyone. Tonight is Center of Light Dream. Lost. If you've ever seen the series Lost, raise your hand. You will understand the support in this series for tonight's presentation. Lost. Being lost on an island. And everyone's looking for salvation. Right? And I hear it. I get you. Everyone's lost on an island. They just came out of a plane crash. They were lofted and the whole bottom fell out and fell down and crashed to the earth. And they went into a bad dream because if you saw the series, they were dreaming from the very beginning pretty much. And they were lost. A lot of brain fog. Likewise, do you feel lost? Do you feel you were lofted on a spiritual plane and your plane crashed on an island secluded away from everyone that you know is reality because you love people? Isn't that the whole purpose of life? Is to be with others as we all collect ourselves and come back together in a state of absolute, beautiful, powerful unity. All right, I'm going to take a short pause. I'm going to play you a song. I'm going to be right back. I have a lot of reading. Tonight is about those who feel lost. I hear you. I'm never making fun. I might be making light of a situation, only so we can rise to the level of awareness and the light of awareness so that we can see what's happening. Do you feel lost? The opportunity for you to fall further into the dark closet is there. This is not a bad affirmation, a negative thinking. I'm telling you, because I love you. Keith, I want to go swimming. Well, jump off the cliff. Well, Keith, I want to go swimming. Well, you got to jump, but I'm scared. Then I'm going to pick you up and throw you into the river. So I'm throwing you into the river. I'm a receiver, but more so I'm a giver. Shan says you're aging backwards. All right, y'all, I'm going to play you a song. Let me play you... I'm going to play you a song off of my soon-to-be new album, soon-to-be a year. The album is called Samadhi, Into the Fire. Here we go, into the fire, y'all. This song is called What Do You Want Now? So I'm asking you, what do you want? You want to remain complacent? If you are wandering meandering around. I get it. I'm meandering and wandering myself. But every day my intention is that I found something of the profound so I can find myself. And everything I find looks like me, body, heart, and mind. And it gives me the incentive and the inspiration to rebuild. I will see you shortly. This is called What Do You Want Now? I'll be back shortly. We got a lot of reading. I am open to your questions. Anyone out there dealing with some issues? Hello, Shasha. Anyone out there who are dealing with anything, whatever it is. Let's use that analogous to I'm lost. I just have a question because I'm looking. I'm searching. You're searching for anything. The universe says, I'm coming. But the universe can come to you all it wants. God, if you will. But what good is it if we can't see it when it's right under our own nose? Rather, better yet, the truth of it is your own nose. And did you know that no matter what, you have been seeing your nose since you've been born? Your eyes ignore it. Likewise, we have been ignoring that which is our own nose and under our own nose, and throws us into the thorns and not getting the scent of the rose. Spiritual liberation will throw you into a storm. So I'm asking you, what do you want now? I can't seem to figure things out. Maybe everything I claim to know is absolute bullshit. Where else can I go but inward? Nothing in the outside has ever brought me some sort of peace. I once heard from a friend about something called samadhi. If I remember correctly, he told me it's being in a space of stillness, an inner quiet, silence on all levels, sort of like being in a cave in meditation, waiting simply, however long it takes, for God to awaken you and bring you to the realm of all possibilities.
Now tell me, did you ever think you can have what you want? 'Cause it sure is happening to me. Everything that I tell you, best believe it is true. And you too will soon see. Come on now, what do you want? Come on now, what do you want now? What do you want? What do you want now? Now tell me, will you look within to know who you are? Either way, that choice is yours. But when you take the time just to be with yourself, that's when you will make the score. What do you want? Come on now. What do you want now? What do you want? What do you want now?
Welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight is Center of Light Dream. It can all seem like a bad dream. It is my aim that you glean some truth. You take it with you, keeps you youthful, innocent, but there's a lot of trouble coming. And it requires you to be balanced, centered, like a pillar of light. My family in South Louisiana and many other people just got hit with a major hurricane, Category 5, or just shy of it. 140-mile-an-hour winds. Bruh. This level of nature, and I don't mean only nature as in the earth, nature, everything is natural, of God, is going to pay us all a visit. It has to. You want it to. Keith, why would I want you want it to? Trust me. Because it'll take you out of systematic belief. Good grief, we've been in for so long. It's causing everything right to go upside down and wrong. Hear this song, I'm singing it. What do you want now? Let's get into Center of Light Dream. Lost. From homecoming, crossing the bridge to my soul. Vesseled in 1996, pretty much about 1998, 99. I did some alterations here and there. But the heart of it, the core of it, was that long ago. And it's very applicable to now. Thank you, Carmen. Lots of reading. Here we go. Tonight is Center of Light Dream. Lost. Spirit says, you are having to work so hard, Keith, because you still carry the feelings left over from your childhood that you are not good enough. Hello. Let me read that again for me. You are having to work so hard, Keith, because you still carry the feeling left over from your childhood that you are not good enough. So we're carrying around this bad dream of being lost already, or still. You still think you must prove to others that you will come through in their times of need. Hello, Center of Light platform. This is the kind of stuff that has blocked my light, meaning God, my light from entering you. Hauling these have-to-do burdens all around is why you still sometimes find yourself emotionally and physically exhausted. If you keep it up, it is your body that will pay the price in the end. You must realize that you can serve me, God, in a far greater way than by trying to find love. Instead of finding love, being lost, trying to find it. The print is so small. Realize that I need you, not to find love, but to be love. This is your greatest responsibility. It's time to take responsibility for all of it, even the things we don't like happening in the outside world. I promise that meeting it will be no burden on you and will benefit everyone. Until then, if you should ever feel overloaded, which I'm sure many of you do the exercise you just learned. Obviously, that was before when I started reading. Dearest beloved souls, why wait till you come to terms with in any aspect of your life? Why not let your heart's rapid response team do the healing now? And I respond, I guess my attempts to heal the present haven't worked because I'm so used to living from past to future. Hello, Paula. Hello, Elaine. I'm so my response to Spirit is, I guess my attempts to heal the present have not worked because I'm so used to living from past to future. And Spirit responds, no wonder. With your current way of looking at things, cause then effect is how you think it goes. But though you perceive the past and future to be completely different, I do not. In actuality, they are two sides of the same coin. Cause implies a past intention when measured against effect, the manifestation of that intention over a linear period. Thus, past and future have no choice but to be bridged by the eternal now. The wormhole that folds time and space, believe me, The moment you launch an intention, it is manifest. What we do unconsciously will return to us in the future, manifested in a horrible monster, and we feel lost. But now here's the kicker. Since time is depleting, as I always say, it's not going to come as a future manifestation. It's going to happen immediately. How are we going to handle our immediate unconscious creations? It will definitely help you to feel lost, like you are in a center of light dream. As long as humanity, Spirit continues, as long as humanity is lost in time, I wish the world would go back to where it was, then you are choosing unconsciously or consciously to go back to time when I tell you there is no more time. As long as humanity is lost in time, all manifestations will seem to come as future occurrences. But as you release more fear, the time it takes for you to notice such manifestations will quicken. Only when you remove all doubt and mind clutter will you begin to assume mastership and to be able to both manifest what you desire in a holy instant and anchor the divine principles for life. I asked the question, does time have any benefit? Right now, the buffer of time, this was 1996, as I am supporting again, time is depleting. 1996. Right now, Spirit responds, the buffer of time is of great benefit to you, for if it were not for this shock absorber, the fear, as I just mentioned a bit ago, the fear encapsulated in your head will not be able to balance the manifestations that happened immediately. Can you see why in the afterlife this is referred to as hell? Because in the afterlife there is no time. So as you transition from this space to another space, you get what you want. Like my song I played a minute ago, what do you want now? Come on now. Did you ever think it could happen to you? 'Cause it sure is happening to me. Everything that I tell you, best believe it is true, and you will too soon see. Come on now, what do you want? So Spirit asked the question, Keith, can you see why in the afterlife this is referred to as hell? And I said, yes, I can. Because we exist in spirit form there and cannot use time to act as a thought buffer. Spirit responds, you catch on quickly. It is time that has fooled you into not knowing that you create your entire existence. The difference between you and me is that you have been caught up in the illusion and bound to the body, so you cannot possibly see your next reality and the next and the next. And why? Spirit continues, why? Your ever active fear has denied you clarity and self-love. And I asked the question, will you tell me more, please, about what hell actually is? Yes, but I shall do it as we go along. For now, let us stick to the subject at hand. When you unify with God, you become a part of something so divinely laid out that struggle, being lost, ceases to be an issue. You have only to think of something and bang, it happens. This should give you some idea of the inexhaustible love I have for you. Many people remain unaware of how to create deliberately. But now that you are learning how, Keith, beloveds, you can now choose not to react to circumstance, but instead put the power of love into action to bring about what you desire and deserve. Basically, to get out of feeling like you are lost. Everything is around you. Everything is omnipresent. Everything is God. Everything is there for you to understand, cultivate, and grow from. Even so, to live the good life, you must own every aspect of it. Only then can you begin to mend your personality. We are so bipolar. Only then can you begin to mend your personality that is split between pleasure and pain, good and bad, love and fear. When you find your balance within the dichotomy of the divine, your life will become one of infinite potential. I ask you, all of you, has it not been rough living with this confusing split and not knowing for certain who the heck you really are? And I say, oh God, yes, sometimes it's been too much to bear. Tonight is center of light, bad dream, lost. Spirit continues. In your earlier years, you tried to be a good Christian by ignoring your darker side, but this did not work for you at all because all your unattended fears were left to grow like wild weeds. When they got thick enough, they started to leach vital, nourishing energy that could have been used elsewhere for your enlightenment. Dear ones, you have to cut those weeds a few times by doing productive things. But because you have not yanked them out by the roots, over time they have regenerated and caused you ever more grief. This is why the results that have been produced have been neither permanent nor absolute. Some of your fears are still manifesting. I made that word up, manifesting in your subconscious mind, inactive, but so very active. Because of your well-intentioned attempts, you sometimes think they are gone, but they are not. As long as you continue to neglect them, the energy flow within you will continue to be obstructed. Now do you think you have the answer to the question? If I'm a good person, why do all these bad things happen? And I say, yes. Spirit continues, even so, I still see you and others pray to many deities when you are troubled. This is going to sting. Sometimes you must wonder if your prayers are heard. And I respond, well, are they? Yeah. Beloved, you ought to know better than to ask me that. And I say, yeah, I do. But why is it that sometimes we don't get what we ask for? And I say, from the song I played a minute ago, what do you want? And Spirit responds, you always get what you ask for. No prayer remains unanswered, though sometimes it may seem to be that way. Even a prayer that comes from lack is answered. And since lack can only beget lack, if you ask Spirit to help you to be irresponsible, then so be it. If you expect any deity to unburden your troubled souls, you will be waiting for a long time. Why should anyone other than you assume your responsibility? And I say, I don't know why. And Spirit says, because my system is not designed to work any other way. Because the Lord helps those who help themselves. Because heaven and earth cannot be established and anchored until everyone assumes my kind of responsibility. Exclamation point. Now is the time to assess yourself in a way that you have not done before. Believe me, denial is not a river in Egypt. Denial only creates piles of confusion, kind of like dog poop. You inevitably step in because you do not see it. To help yourself out of the mess you are in, you must wear responsible shoes and walk responsibly in them. Responsibility only comes when you embrace your entire self, fears and all. Responsibility only comes when you embrace your entire self, fears and all. And I say, I wish I could just throw all my fears in the trash can. Keith, if you could do that, along with such a toss, would go the wisdom that shapes you, for both are parts of your perfect design. And besides, if you did not have the fears you have, you would be someone else. What you can do is change what fear means to you. See it as a tool. to help you unfold the wisdom you have within. Here we go. Tonight is Center of Light Dream, being lost. You are the dreamer, your own Creator Almighty, and yes, it is all of you who have been making this up for a very long time, for in fact, an eternity. When on the earth, you lose the very awareness, meaning spiritual ultimate awareness. When upon the earth, you lose the very awareness that your body, of your body, that you need to stay in it. And because as long as you are sleeping, we leave our body all the time. We leave our present self all the time because the outside world is calling and it's tempting, and we fall into the illusion of it. You are the dreamer, your own Creator Almighty, and yes, you all have been making this up for a very long time. In fact, for eternity. Why do I fall into the illusion of the world, basically? You lose the very awareness of your body that you, the soul, need to stay in it. And because as long as you're sleeping, even though your eyes are open, I'll get to that shortly, you cannot be lured into the temptations of the external world that your mind and body crave. And I say, sometimes I have dreams that are so real, we are dreaming right now. We think this is real. It's very real in the sense because we're so engaged and invested into the bad dream as to why we run away from the tiger that was trying to eat our ass in our dreamscape last night, only to wake up this morning to realize it was just a dream. Likewise, I ask the question, sometimes I have dreams that are so real, I wake up thinking I was actually there. And Spirit says, Keith, you were. And I say, I was? If you were not there, where were you? But aren't dreams metaphors for something else? And Spirit says, and your life on earth is not? And I say, I see your point. Here we go. For any of those who are feeling lost in a situation, a life experience, and a global experience, this is where we turn a nightmare, sleep paralysis, and use said sleep paralysis as a vehicle to launch us into an out-of-body experience, but consciously into a soul experience. Here we go. Spirit says, you are dreaming right now. You may think that just because your physical eyes are open, you are awake. But even though they are, there is a part of you that still sleeps. And I say, this dream versus reality thing is still confusing me. I shall effort to clear it up then. When you have a dream, the one we are in, if you're such a one that feels lost, when you have a dream, this brain fog that we're living in, it is a dream, and at the same time, it is not. In your waking state of consciousness, when everything seems to be tangible, that too is a dream. The reality is that both provide you with experiences that are integral to your growth. The dichotomy is that since both are dreams dreamed from my mind, meaning God, everything in your waking and sleeping life is an illusion as well as real. And I ask the question, I do understand that. But if I'm faced with two scenarios in my being lost, how can I decide which one is the higher and which one is the lower so I can find direction? Fantastic question. Your ability to differentiate between the two is what makes one more real than the other. The one that you decide is the closer representation of me is the higher reality. The other is more likely to be the illusion of the lower reality. But keep in mind, this is so powerfully important. But keep in mind, this is only relative because the decision between higher and lower can vary from person to person. And even though you deem something to be either real or illusory, being found or being lost, do not lose sight of the real truth that God is the dreamer behind both. Remember this And the part of you that sleeps with your eyes open will awaken to truly see my reality. If you're lost and I'm found, or vice versa, and we stand next to each other, how can that possibly be? How can you possibly be joyful and blissed out when I feel like I missed out on something and feel so lost? The only answer to that is within. In is the way out, and you will figure out such conundrums. Lost. The dream is getting deeper. However you choose to awaken or be one of going into deeper sleeper, and it will forever creeper up on all of us. There is no more time. You're living in the mind of God, and being so, there's no a way out of it ever. And because you are in the mind of God, and God's heart is unconditionally loving to say, yes, my divine child, you can have what you want. It's literal. You can have what you want. Do you want to sleep some more? While I, as the spirit, like a good parent, watches you sleep and your eyes move and REM and you jump around because your parent or your divine parent knows you're just having a simple dream, knowing that you're going to wake up one day, but when you choose, and when you do wake up, your parent says, how was your sleep? Looks like you were having a dream. It's perfectly the same. Unconditional love will let you sleep, like your mother or father will let you sleep, even though you're dreaming and you're squirming around. They don't want to wake you from a dream. In fact, they'll tell everybody in the house, shh, John Doe is sleeping. As above, so below, on forever, it will go and grow into whatever you want. We, you, me, are living in such a powerful time. Well, Keith, I feel that I need to catch up because I have a lot of expanding to do, and I don't know what to do because I feel so lost. Trust this, at least, at all costs, that you feel that you're in a tailspin. The reason confusion happens is because two things are coinciding, two things are confusing. And though that means the answer is right beyond the linear timeline of trying to figure it out, but when you figure it in, you will escape the matrix at last, and you will win sooner. You don't know how to do that? Contact me. Careful, warning, heed this warning. I will lovingly grab you and throw you into the moving river. I don't know how to swim. Sure you do. You will find your way. Don't wait. The time's coming. It can be late. Well, Keith, don't always have the opportunity to choose, but the stronger the current gets, will you have the momentum to stay in balance so you can choose consciously? Because the monster may be too big. And you may be hiding under a tree or a rock because you feel lost and you want to escape the monster that you've created. You can always contact me or any other spiritual teacher that you resonate with. Not someone just parroting and yammering on. Take a short break. Gonna do a song break. I may play a new song. Actually, I will. For my upcoming in the somewhat future. Now, I'm gonna play it. And then I'm gonna come back and close off, probably going to vessel mode. Tonight is Center of Light Dream. You're dreaming. And at the same time, it is real. So what is the deal? What is the truth in all of this? You are the ultimate one, ultimately dreaming. You're either jumping up and down in bliss or you're screaming for help. If any of this resonates to you, you must do what I require if you want to continue on without living in the quagmire of ongoing fear and falling down tear after tear after tear to drop tear after tear after tear from your eye of living in fear after fear after fear. And there is no reason why except that you simply choosing it. Gonna be right back. Let me see what we have. I'm gonna play you. Now I'm gonna do Lavender Soul. Breathe. Dear Lord, we need to breathe. to receive. See you shortly.
Trust that I will guide you in whatever you do. Just remember to breathe and do your very best to live in love, give in love, be in love, and love you shall receive.
Welcome back to Center of Light. Closing segment. I appreciate you being here. Are you feeling lost? You may not now. It's not a bad affirmation. But it's coming for all of us. Winter is coming. And I don't mean November through March. But by March, we're going to have to march to a different drummer. The heartbeat of your soul. It's going to play drums like the ones you hear now. The drums are being played. Who's the musician? Spirit is through all of us. But it really depends on what sheet music we are orchestrating. How are you orchestrating your life? Do you feel lost? If you're not, fantastic. Send me what you are doing because I want to grow as well. I'd love to know what you are doing. I'm going to read you a little bit before we close. Center of Light. Get to that shortly. 4 things you can never change. Ever, never, ever, never, never, ever. No matter how much you argue, no matter how much you want to bang your head on the wall, no matter how much you get painted into the corner, you can never change these 4 models ever. Universally, since you've always existed, you exist now and forever will exist. You can never change this. Never. You exist. You can never change that. Never. If you feel lost and you're in a dream, this one model will help alleviate some of your fear, my beautiful dear brother or sister, Mrs. or Mr. You will always exist. This should help alleviate some of your fear of death. You will always exist. When you pass, lights are not out forever. Number 2, all is one and one is all. You always have support. It's always around you, even on levels you cannot see, experience using your bodily functionality senses. There is support all around you, deceased loved ones, angelic forms, light forms, thought forms of the highest possible nature. Here's where you get your power back and find your way and navigate through the wilderness without getting bit by snakes, kind of thing. What you put out, you will get back. The superstorms, the super fires are all trying to make us into superhumans. What you put out, you get back. There is no right or wrong of it. It's not even a neutrality. It's a fact. So we all have work to do to refine our process. Number 4, the only thing that never changes is change itself. This goes back to number 1, and the cycle turns within itself, and it ever spiritually expands more and more, and it grows and it expands to greater possibilities. The only thing you can never change is change itself. Back to number 1, you exist. The Center of Light mantra, Yanava mantra. I am a soul of divine light here on this planet to use my God-given abilities for peace and unity as an anchor for the prophecy of heaven on earth. I am that which is and will always be. My intent is to be conscious every moment, placing my feet on the path toward the kingdom of my divine birth. It is my divine birthright of which I now claim. Where I am from, where we are from, there is no blame, shame, nor game, as I am the sole provider of my infinite experience. No person, place, or thing can affect me in my essence, for I am invincible. My will is to forever move inward, upward, forward, and toward the great central sun, S-U-N-S-O-N, sun. I am that sun, S-U-N-S-O-N, daughter. And because I give warmth and light to the world, I am everything, and I can never die. I am eternal. My divine principal parent is calling me homeward, and I must go. As I have patiently and powerfully taken steps for eons, I now find myself. Tonight is Center of Light lost. Hello, Brother Peter Coyle. Tonight is Center of Light lost. And in this last segment of this mantra, lost, My divine principal parent is calling me homeward, and I must go. As I have patiently and powerfully taking steps for eons, I now find myself standing at the garden gate. With every breath, I just played the song Breathe. With every breath, I cross the threshold and into the kingdom forever. At last, I am at peace, for I am the child of the infinite light of God, and so it is. Amen. Lost is a simple idea erroneously. You cannot be lost because it is that which is profound that finds you here now. It's the ground that is laid as you have always played and what you call reality. Lower illusion, or to a greater degree, a principality. It's all, to use a slang, irregardless, that'll rub you, many of you, right? Of your doing. It's either warm and charm or swarm and harm. There is no more time because you now find yourself here. If you're trying to find yourself, and the trying to find yourself, you can deem yourself lost. At all costs, what are you willing to pay? Are you willing to pay the ultimate price? And we're not speaking about your demise in this physical way. We're talking about dim eyes in a spiritual way. The ability to not able to see, to be blind, if you will. There's a simple balancing act that needs to take place within all of you. When to engage and when to not. When to do and when to not. We understand that for you, as it is for many on this side of the veil, where you are, because back when, however long ago, that was all we got as well. But eventually, you will catch up, you will move up, and you will live upwardly. But understand, you are not lost. We understand your feeling as you emote it, but we want you to understand as we promote it. You are not lost. You are here and just simply got confused. So in the confusing of two things, we'll create the third thing, which is the Trinity, which creates the fourth thing, back to the one, which is the power. Every second, every minute, every hour, as you shower yourself with absolute grace, and it falls so preciously on your face that you fall into tears. But we hope that you don't fall into different degrees of the tears of lower levels of output, because you no longer have any input. It cannot be stressed, intentionally use, more intentionally use, emphasize. Or let's change this. Let's create a new word. Emphasize. For those of you that are starting to get a motivational kick in the pants, congrats. If you don't have such a momentum behind you, congrats. You will ultimately find your way. Why? Because you will always exist. Change happens, always. The only thing that never changes, change itself. What you put out, you will get back. So that mirrors to you your power. There are no greater truths. These are the truths of the truth. But we understand that your reality can make you feel aloof or help you to feel ways that you really don't care to feel like. But we care and dare to share with you. You are choosing this. Many years have passed, thousands of them, in fact, of scripture, laying out a code, the groundwork, or a template. We understand lots of it is dogmatic, pragmatic. We get it. It doesn't offer much. But you have to be a seeker, not a dabbler, to understand the language that is hidden right under your own nose. It is your own nose. but the eyes cannot see it because they have casted it out and away from the vision capacity. Though, did you know that your eyes always see your nose? The plain truth in plain sight right in front of you. In fact, the nose has to do with recognizing, being recognized. And you can't see that which you are worthy of is to recognize your own self. Because what you call the eyes, your vision capacity, has simply put it aside. It now requires you to see your own nose, the direction you're heading. The nose, the ability to breathe consciously, the ability to see monumentally that the superstorms are not coming. They are here now. What are you becoming? Are you calm, like Peter? Or are you tottering, and rottering on the vine as your fruit so wants to blossom into a beautiful taste on someone's delicious divine palate? Shall it be your destination? No, it shall not. It's truly you. Give it all you got. Should have get off the pot, because either way you will going home. One will happen immediately and expediently, and the other will take eons of time. And you will feel lost at all costs. What is it worth to you? To me, it's everything. 26,000 years and many other lifetime cycles. It's a long time. And every time you incarnate, you don't know it. You just think you're born. Your parents raise you. You go to school. You eat your gruel. We become champions and we become the fool all at the same time to start this whole process all over again. You need help? Contact me. Not help as if I know more than you and you're broken. Because you're outspoken and you want something different. I found many of new things different that bring me lots of joy. Do you want more joy? And if you have joy for me, please send it this way. Know that you are loved beyond measure. I have no greater pleasure than to hang out with you. Peace, love, and light. You are the light. You are not lost. You're simply just confused by all the blows you have taken. Stand up, collect yourself, take a breath, move forward. You're never going to die. Most spiritual non-expansion happens because people don't care about spiritual expansion, because they're not in the understanding that they're never going to die. If I'm fucked, I'm fucked. Fuck it. Suck it up, tough guy. This is your opportunity. Love you.